All right, what's up? What's up, guys? I want to discuss the middleweight division. Been meaning to do a video like this for a little while now because when I look at the division itself, there's so much talent there, right? I think it's at its best state it's been for years, in my opinion. Okay, you got a couple of guys that moved up. You have Jamal that moved up. You have Andre that moved up. Okay, and then we finally got the fights between Golovkin and Canelo. Canelo seems to be there, even though he's fighting Rocky Fielding at 168. He has the power to do whatever he wants. He's gonna jump around. He did fight Chavez Jr. up at a catch weight before. So Canelo is that guy to do what he wants to do. But I'll talk more about that. But I was very excited about the division going into this year, right? And then we had a lot of mess that occurred this year, Billy Joe Saunders, for example, he's testing positive for a drug, and that fight with Andre being canceled, which is very disappointing because I finally thought I was going to get to see Andre really step up, and we don't get to see that now. I mean, the fighter he fought, Walter, I don't know how to say this. I'm not going to even try to butcher his last name, but Walter was not the fighter that we wanted to see. Big guy, has a lot of power, but doesn't really have didn't really have the skills, didn't really have the footwork to be able to hang with Demetrius Andre. Okay, Andre looked very good for what I saw. He looked very, very good, but it just wasn't he wasn't no match for Andre. All right. Last weekend we got the fight between Jacobs and Deverenchenko, which was a very good fight. I knew it was going to be a very close fight. It was a very dangerous fight for both fighters. But it's kind of disappointing because now the division is all about Canelo. Canelo is that guy. He's that dude in boxing right now. And you're pretty much getting a fight with him whether or not he chooses you. It really doesn't matter who's his mandatories and all of that shit. That doesn't matter. We already know he's a superstar. He gets what he wants. He beat Golovkin, whether you thought he won or not. This video is not about whether or not you thought Canelo beat Golovkin. This video is about he is currently the champion, right? Golovkin at this point does not hold the title. Okay? He does not hold the title. So, who has the opportunity to fight Canelo in May? We know Canelo's fighting Rocky Fielding this December. He's most likely going to win that fight. What is Canelo going to do? Is he going to fight somebody else at 168? Or is he going to fight one of them? Is he going to try to unify at 160? Is he going to fight Jamal, who's his mandatory? What is he going to do? Everything is based on that right now. And this is why I'm so disappointed, because the middleweight division is at its strongest state that it's been for a long time, at least to me. The last era of top middleweights really wasn't that strong. I'm talking about the Sam Solomons and the, all of those guys that held titles a few years back, okay? When Sergio Martinez had his run, I thought that at that time it was a weaker division. So now that Golovkin had plenty of fights, he fought Danny Jacobs, he fought Canelo twice, and now there's nothing but really good guys at 160. We get some good unifications there. We got all of these opportunities, and now everybody's sitting around waiting to see if they're going to get their shot at Canelo. Now let's look at Andre real quick. He beats Walter. We didn't get the Billy Joe Saunders fight. So, in my opinion, even though Andre had a couple of good fights at 154, he fought Vanes Monterosian when he was at his prime. He was undefeated. He beat Willie Nelson. These guys at 160 are much better. Okay? So, now that he didn't fight Billy Joe Saunders, we still don't know how good Andre really is. All right? Because he just, and I'm not saying this at his fault. I thought some of the things at 154, not fighting the Charlos, I think some of the issues that the promoting issues, I already expressed all of that stuff in older videos. Now that he's at 160, You have Jacobs there. He's on the zone with you. These two don't seem to want to fight each other. You know, these guys are good friends. They're close friends. They don't want to fight each other. They're both wanting to, you know, they from what I'm hearing, they both really want the Canelo fight. I mean, who doesn't want the Canelo fight? But it's not really your choice whether or not you get the Canelo fight. But they don't want to fight each other for whatever reason. Okay, cool. Andre, what other options do you have? Because the Canelo fight, if you get that fight, Canelo chooses you, bro. He's not going to... It's no point of waiting around to see if you get that fight. You know, we don't know if you're going to get that fight. Excuse me. Unless there's some kind of insider information. You are on the zone. Canelo is on the zone. If you know there's a good chance that you may get the fight, then that's cool. But if you're not going to get that fight, what are you going to do? You know? Are you going to not fight Jacobs? I don't want it to be like we're two buddy stuff. I don't, you know, we're not going to fight because we're bros. I get that. I understand that you rather not fight Jacobs. But at the end of the day, you're a champion. He's a champion. A lot of people would love to see that fight. I already had people in my comments talking about that fight. Who they think is better between Jacobs and Demetrius Andre. All right? We want to see that fight. If you're not getting a Canelo fight, we want to see that fight. We don't know if Canelo's going to fight you because there's Jamal Charlo there. There's Daniel Jacobs there. There's possibly a Gennady Golovkin third fight. We don't know what Canelo is going to do. Canelo can do whatever he wants. He can fight someone at 154 if he wants to. All right? Not saying that that's what I want to see. I'm just speaking based on just the history of Canelo and his fights. He's totally unpredictable. He can fight whoever he wants to fight because he's that guy. All right? As far as Daniel Jacobs, a lot of people want the Jamal Charlo fight, okay? Let me speak on that fight first. The thing with Jacobs, right, and I think people need to understand, like the people, like I like him and Jamal. You guys know I love Jamal and I love Daniel Jacobs, all right? Been a Daniel Jacobs fight fan for years, forever, okay? I've been a big fan of him for years, all right? And I'm a big supporter of the Charlo twins. Always been on this channel. My thing is this. When I look at the comments and I see, you know, people saying that Jacobs would destroy, or, you know, people think that Jacobs would get destroyed by Jamal. I think people got to understand is, the one thing people got to understand is that you're comparing Jacobs' performances. You gotta, when you compare performances, you gotta remember Jacobs is fighting way better fighters at 160. When we compare him to Charlo, Charlo is performing very well against lower quality fighters. It's not his fault because he wants to fight the best. The thing is, he wants to fight Jacobs. He wants to fight Canelo. He wants to fight Triple G. He's been calling these guys out. But he's still fighting the lower. Centeno Jr. is not that good of a fighter. You know? All of these guys that Jacobs are fighting are way better than the people that Jamal Charlo's fighting. All right? If Jacobs were to fight the people that Jamal has been facing, he would destroy them too. You know? Easily. You know, he's fighting Derevyanchenko. Like, when people say, like, when I hear people say, oh, Jacob struggled against Derevyanchenko or Triple G. When I hear people say that, I'm like, man, are you realizing how good Derevyanchenko is? He's a very, very good fighter. You know, people are saying that they think that Derevyanchenko was going to give Triple G problems if they were to fight. I think people are forgetting that Derevyanchenko might be a tough fight for Jamal as well. He's not Centeno Jr. You know, he's not Highland with a bad leg. I'm not trying to discredit Jamal because I support him. But I hate the fact that there are fans out there that are overrating him. I think Jamal is very, very good, but let him prove himself. Don't just go out and just start saying crazy stuff, because Jamal is fighting, even when he was fighting people like J-Rock and Austin Trout, good wins, especially the J-Rock win. The J-Rock win was his best win, in my opinion. That's his career best win, because he was able to knock out an undefeated fighter that was one of the top fighters at 154. You know, people, and going into that fight, people thought it was 50-50. But J-Rock is a 154 fighter, a guy that belongs at 154. All right, that's not a guy that I see him moving up to 160 anytime soon. He belongs at 154 as far as his size. He belongs there. And he doesn't have the greatest chin. And he's struggled in fights even after the loss of Jamal. He struggled in fights. So, with that being said, you can't compare, and you can't just say that this would be an easy fight for Jamal, because Jamal did fight Austin Trout. And Jamal, not for nothing, but Austin Trout has other losses. All right? Guys that has put him down. He's been down in a lot of fights. He's been down against Canelo. He's been down against Lara hard. He's been down and stopped against Hurd. But when he fought Jamal, he took the big shots from Jamal all night. How do you know that Jamal's power is going to hurt Jacobs like he did against Highland and Centeno Jr.? How do you know that? How do you know that? You know? How do you know? Jacobs took big shots from Derevyanchenko. He took big shots against Triple G. Even though Triple G put him down once, he wasn't really that hurt. He got up and started fighting again. So I think people must understand that the level of competition is different. It's easier to look better when you're fighting lower quality opponents. And I don't want people to overrate him, because that's what people are doing. Let's not overrate him. Let him prove that let him prove that he's one of the best. I think it's very unfair, and it's unfortunate for Jamal, because when it comes to the 160 fighters now, it seems like the majority of them are over there on the zone now. Okay, before they were on HBO. HBO is done. They're on the zone. You got Andre there. You got Canelo there. You got Jacobs there. And it seems like if he wants to get a fight, or if he's going to be able to get a fight with one of those guys, he might have to go to the zone. All right? That's a promoter beef thing. I believe it could be done. I believe that it could really be done. You know, but I would like to see Jamal fight one of these guys, you know. The Andre feud it's been going on for like 5 years now, man. It's been going on for damn near as long as Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather feud went. I personally am annoyed by it. I still want to see that fight. I want to see Andre fight one of the Charlo twins. I would love to see Jamal fight Daniel Jacobs. You know, I want to see that fight now. Daniel Jacobs is still consistently calling out Jamal, and I think Jamal would take the fight. I just want to see it happen at this point. But I also do believe that Jamal deserves his shot at Canelo Alvarez, just like a lot of other fighters there do. I think Daniel Jacobs deserves a shot at Canelo. You know, I think he has the best resume. You know, between Jamal, Andre, and Daniel Jacobs, I think Jacobs has the best resume. He has done the most at 160. Plus, he holds the title now. So I think he is the most deserving of that fight. All right. As far as Triple G is concerned, I've seen an article that he may possibly come back to fight Rob Brandt. He just recently beat the Japanese fighter Murata. All right, he recently beat him in the decision. Not a bad fight. It's not a bad fight. It's just that I understand Triple G is coming off his first loss. Rob Brandt is a good fighter. Not trying to take anything away from him, but he's just not on Triple G's level. And I feel like whenever Triple G fights someone that's not at an elite level, he destroys them. Okay? At this point, I already know what Triple G can do. Unless he's facing a Daniel Jacobs, or Canelo Alvarez, or maybe Andre or Jamal Charlo. All these other guys, he's just going to blow through, in my opinion. You know? Unless it's a Billy Joe Saunders or a Deverenchenko. The absolute top elite 160, outside of those 160, the best 5, 6, 7 fighters, he's going to blow through anybody else. You know? When he fought guys like, I know Vanes Monterosyan is not a 160 fighter. I know he was coming off of a loss, I believe, and he was going on a long layoff. But at 154, he was a top, one of the toughest contenders out there. All right? Not a journeyman at 154. Very tough contender. When he fights guys like that, he blows them out of there. You know, Dominic Wade, those type of fighters, he's going to blow, he's going to go run right through them. Rob Brandt, good fighter. He might be tough. He might go a good amount of rounds with Triple G, but Triple G is going to stop him. I only want to see Triple G fight the absolute elite at this point. I know he doesn't gain anything from fighting Jamal. He doesn't have to fight Jamal, but I would like him to fight Jamal. I just would like Jamal to get an opportunity to fight a top fighter at 160. You know, I don't really know what Triple G's goal is. I don't know. I'm sure he would like a rematch against a third fight against Canelo. I know he would like that. But if he's not going to get that, why fight anyone lower than one of the top elite fighters at 160 at this point? You know, why not fight one of the other champions or Jamal Charlo? Jamal has been wanting to fight you, and he was a WBC champion at 154. Why not fight him? You know, there's a demand for the fight. There are a lot of Jamal Charlo fans, and a lot of people want him to step up. You know, and he's been in position to fight you even before you fought Canelo. So I think he definitely deserves a fight. I personally would love to see the fight. I know there are people that probably don't care for the fight as much as other fights, but if you're a Triple G fan and you're watching this video, who exactly do you want to see Triple G fight at this point? Do you rather watch him fight Rob Brandt? Do you think he needs a softer touch after losing to Canelo? I don't believe so. It wasn't a devastating loss. It was a loss that was a debatable fight. It was a tough fight. He's at an age, he's 36 years old. Why step back down? You know? So I believe that he should fight Jamal. I would like for him to fight Jamal or one of the other champions if possible. I don't know if he's going to go with the zone, if that news came out. I don't know what Triple G network, whatever. But I think Triple G, whatever fights he wants, he's still in position to get whatever fight he wants. People would love to fight him at 160. They would still love to fight him. I'm sure Daniel Jacobs would want to fight him. I'm sure Demetrius Andre has been saying that. He's been saying Triple G's name for a while. Jamal definitely wants to fight. You know? It's just that right now, it seems like everybody is just waiting around for Canelo. And that's very annoying because that's pretty much the same place we were at welterweight before Floyd retired. And even still, you know, even when he's having these talks about returning, it's like everybody's waiting on Floyd. And I don't want that to happen with 160. It seems like that's what's happening now that Canelo's there. They're like, all right, you're going to fight Rocky Fielding. Okay, that's what you're going to do. But we already know that the big fight is for May. Who are you going to fight in May? Everybody's waiting for that announcement. You know, they're hoping that they're the winner of the Canelo lottery, you know? And it's destroying the division because you have so many title holders. You got 4 titles. Canelo's holding 2 of them. And then you got 2 other new champions. Those 2 new champions don't seem to have interest in fighting each other. But they could fight each other. And you got top fighters, mandatories like Jamal Charlo that's there, that because he's not with the zone and because he doesn't hold the title, it seems like he may not get a shot, which isn't right, you know? So, you know, let me know what you guys think. You know, I think, like I said, I think the division itself, the talent is there. I think it's one of the most, I would say the middleweight division right now is a top 3 division in boxing. You know, I think the talent is there between 147, 175, and 160 are probably my personal favorite divisions as far as talent, overall talent. You know, that's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. What fights do you want to see at 160 that makes sense? Before I even end this video, let me end off by saying, if I had it my way, what fights do I really, really, really want to see that are very believable? I would like to see if Jamal Charlo gets to fight anyone, which fight would I like to see the most? See, I really want to see Jamal fight all 3. I really want to see him fight Andre. I really want to see him fight Jacobs because of the bad blood between both of those fights, right? I really want to see both of those. But I want to see the Canelo fight too really bad because that would be a high-level technical fight. You know, both are good counter punchers. Both have good power. Both have good speed. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see if Jamal could fight one of those 3 guys. I'm totally fine with that. I would like to see Jamal fight one of those 3. Billy Joe Saunders is like the wild card because I know he failed on a drug test. And I know he deserves to be suspended and everything like that. But I still want to see him fight one of these top guys. I want to see him do it because Lemieux, even though he's a top guy at the division, you know, and I didn't mention him at all, I always think that majority of these top fighters will end him. Okay? I think Derevchenko would beat Lemieux. I think Jamal would beat him. I think Andre would beat him. I think Jacobs would beat him. Triple G already beat him. And I think Canelo could beat him. I think all those guys would beat Lemieux. Everybody under that, Lemieux will probably knock him out. All right? I mean, I might be forgetting a couple guys. But off top, Lemieux's a top dog. He is the absolute king of gatekeepers at 160. He is the gatekeeper at 160. He will beat anyone outside of the top champions or the very 2 top contenders. You know? But I personally, right now, I just want Jamal to fight one of those 3 guys. Or 4, because Triple G too. I really would like to see the Triple G fight. But I want him to get a shot at one of those 4. Without a doubt. I want Jamal to fight one of those 4. And outside of that fight, we saw Dan Jacobs against Triple G. We already saw Canelo against Triple G. At this point, me personally, I don't want to see any more rematches. Right? I don't have the demand for Daniel Jacobs against Canelo is high, but not as high as Jamal against Canelo. I want to see that fight. For some reason, I just want to see that fight more. Daniel Jacobs, I want him to fight Charlo. I want that fight more because of the bad blood. All right? Andre, whatever way he gets mixed in there, I would love to see him fight Canelo as well. And I don't have a favorite. I can't think. I want to see these guys mix it up. All of them, though. You just put them in a pot and just take out the rematches. You put all of these guys in a pot, take out the rematches, and I want to see them all fight. All right? Derenchenko's still out there. He barely lost to Jacobs. All right? He finished strong in that fight. You can even throw him in a pot against some of these other fighters. I just don't want to see any rematches. But Canelo, me personally, in May, I think he's more likely, or most likely, if he's going to fight someone at 160, I think it's probably going to be Jacobs. I think Jacobs is the most deserving. I think Jacobs is the easiest fight to make. He's on the zone as well. I think his name is bigger than a lot of, like, when it comes to Andrade and Charlo as well. I think his name is just a little bigger because of who he's fought. People are familiar with him. Him fighting, Golovkin already. I just think that fight is probably going to happen. That's just my opinion. That's just my guess. All right, but I just need these fights to go. They need to happen in 2019 because they just do. All right? But like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys think, or who would you like to see fight in 2019. What fights do you want the most? Matter of fact, put like a top 3 dream 160 matchup in the comments if you can, all right? Sorry for the length of the video. It's just that I wanted to talk about every day in the division, all right? And we're all in one video. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.